She's tall, she's blonde, and she'd probably be Yuji's type if she wasn't so much older, since he admitted that he likes Jennifer Lawrence. Yes, you guessed it, Todo's buxom teacher is the star of today's video, Yuki Tsukumo. As one of only 4 special grade jujutsu users, it's about time she gets some of the spotlight, especially considering her recent appearances in Season 2. There's a lot that we don't know about her, and maybe never will, but let's stick to what we do know, shall we? Yuki was originally a star plasma vessel, just like Riko Amane was in Gojo's flashback arc. We find this out much later when Yuki finally has a chance to speak with Tengen. It's also implied that she spoke with Tengen before, due to her treatment of the barrier making immortal. That aside, it's curious that Yuki wasn't absorbed like the other vessels, or hunted. Perhaps she wasn't as compatible as Riko was, so she was replaced by her in the time leading up to then. It would make sense for her to know about the mission's outcome and so many details about the merger in that case. But this is all speculation, since the details aren't revealed and probably will never be. There's also the fact that another vessel can appear after one is killed, so it's not impossible for multiple to be around at once. It's almost as if the world ensured the natural balance persisted in spite of him. But let's move forward now. This is Yuki's story after all. As previously said, being one of only 4 special grade sorcerers, Yuki's name was known within the jujutsu community. Maybe not in such a positive light though. This is made clearer when we see her interact with the more rebellious members of society, and how she easily gets along with them. For example, after the failed mission to protect Riko, Yuki goes to Tokyo Jujutsu High to see the ones involved. Actually, she was there to see Gojo, but he was already sent away on a solo mission. Instead, she speaks with the chipper Haibara Yu and the increasingly conflicted Suguru Geto. Some might say her discussion with Geto led him down his path of destruction, but I'd argue that she was just a means for him to clarify his ideas. She certainly didn't want Geto to take her hypothetical comments as possibilities that he could follow through on. Like him, she despises curses, their violence, and wishes to rid the country of them, but not through erasing the majority of population. She even made it clear that though it is a possible solution to the dangers the sorcerers face, she wouldn't consider it an option. But I guess Geto stopped listening once she said that it was possible. There's also a brief moment where she seems almost disappointed that someone like Toji was killed, considering that he could have accomplished with his heavenly restriction. Either way, their discussion ends with her revealing the futility of the Star Plasma mission, something she likely was never behind in the first place. But was it really okay that Tengen didn't merge? At some point afterwards, Yuki discovered a young Aoi Todo while he was still in the 3rd grade. Seeing him able to take down much bigger and older boys, she probably thought he'd be the perfect protege to join her in rejecting the unchanging beliefs within Jujutsu society. Plus, she just seems to like unfathomably powerful guys, if we include her previous interest in Gojo and the sorcerer killer Toji. This led her to training Todo as a fighter to take down as many cursed spirits as possible. As it turns out, Yuki might have been a bit too tough as a teacher, seeing as she's the one who gave Todo the gnarly scar across his face. But let's not overlook the detail that she also instilled his trademark habit of asking people who they like, and judging them based on their responses. If that didn't come from her, I don't know who else it could be. Also, Yuki was clearly shown asking Geto, Haibara, and fake Geto the same question. Like the boss she is, Yuki shows up at the tail end of the Shibuya incident to save the students from being massacred by both fake Geto and Sukuna's assistant, Urarame. And let's be real here, it would have been a real bloodbath for those who aren't called Yuji if she hadn't showed up. Oh, and she apparently brought Yuta with her to watch over the injured, namely Todo, Maki, and Inumaki, and possibly Nobara? After striking a pose and asking Geto what kind of girl he likes, since he never answered, fake Geto starts discussing his ideas with her, and the more he says, the less she agrees. It eventually leads to fake Geto releasing Mahito's technique that he forcefully acquired, while curses flood Japan. Even during all the chaos, Yuki made sure to help all the youngins get to safety, seeing as 10 million or so curses were set free, devastating big sections of the country. Later on, Yuki pops up in the story again, but now she's in hiding, along with Maki at Tokyo Jujutsu High. The rest of the anti-apocalypse crew joins up with them to discuss their plan. Yuji, Choso, Megumi, and Yuta are now part of the team. Yuki takes the time to explain that Maki's healed, but her scars will remain due to the extensive amount of burn wounds she received from Jogo. But thanks to her partially heavenly restricted body, it's no surprise she's doing well otherwise. There it is again, Yuki's love of strong people and how they can be used to eradicate curses. If nothing else, Yuki seems happy to have someone to replace Toji's role in the world, joining her team of outliers. Afterward, their goal is to pay Tengen a visit regarding this whole fake ghetto situation. Navigating the tombs of the Star Corridor isn't an easy task, but thankfully they have Choso with them. As a death painting, he can sense the other wombs, his siblings, and guide them that way, since they are being stored within the Star Corridor. They make it to an elevator, and this part Yuki knows. It will lead down to where Tengen resides. Keeping society within a safe barrier, she's also the only one among them who knows about the failed mission that ended with Riko being shot right in this spot, the bloodstains still left behind. They continue past there to the shrine where Tengen should be. But once there, all they find is an empty room. Being the cautious, old, very old sorcerer that they are, Tengen had hidden themselves in case they were working with fake Ghetto. When they're about to leave, Tengen finally appears and greets them all, purposely ignoring Yuki. Of course, she can't let this slide and confronts the immortal about that. But Tengen just explains it away as unnecessary since they already know each other. This leads into a very long explanation of who Fake Ghetto actually is and what he's planning for Japan. Upon seeing how Tengen's aged so drastically in 11 years, Yuki might actually start to rethink what she told about Tengen not needing a replacement vessel to merge with. The immortal has changed so much in a short amount of time. Worse even, after failing to absorb Riko, Tengen is now in danger of being used in Kenjaku's plan to merge all of Japan into one huge cursed entity. This is because having not replenished themselves, Tengen is now more cursed spirit than sorcerer. In fact, star plasma vessels and Six Eyes users have always been linked by fate for hundreds, if not thousands of years. Yuki finds out that in the past, Kenjaku had been defeated by Six Eyes users, and that's why he started seeking out the prison realm instead. After waiting hundreds of years, his devious plan was starting to fall into place. He got the prison realm, Toji killed the vessel, and a curse manipulation technique was available for him to acquire. Whether or not Yuki regrets not taking the vessel role more seriously isn't clear, but she is one of the two who volunteers to protect Tengen should Kenjaku show up for their real body hidden in the tombs. The other is Big Brother, Curse Womb Choso. Also, she wants to have a chance to discuss some things with Tengen. The rest of the team, listening to Tengen's in-depth and helpful explanation of the culling game and how to unseal Gojo, leave and go off on their own missions. Yuki doesn't have the privilege of participating in those exciting tasks, but it would have been really interesting if she had. With time to spare, Yuki, Choso, and Tengen spend time chatting and waiting for threats to arrive. Because there's no denying that Kenjaku will. His plan can't move forward without Tengen. As much as Yuki tries to be civil, it's as clear as day that she rejects everything to do with Jujutsu Society, and especially Tengen. Maybe if she wasn't a star plasma vessel, her feelings wouldn't be as negative towards the immortal. But she is, and Yuki definitely doesn't appreciate what happened to the vessels and how casually Tengen treats the vessel situation, since there were replacements available at the time. Not to mention, Yuki feels like they did all the work while Tengen reaped the benefits and then just allowed nature to take its course when Riko was killed before the ritual. This is likely made more frustrating for Yuki since she can hear all inside Tengen even now. At that revelation, Tengen wonders what they're saying, but Yuki refuses to share anything with them, mainly out of spite. Of course, when things are getting more heated, Kenjaku shows up before any resolution can be had between Tengen and Yuki. It's not even been a month since the destruction of Shibuya, and here comes more. Although Choso attacks first, Yuki would never let them fight alone. Where's the fun in that? Speaking of which, now's the perfect time to explain Yuki's abilities as a special grade sorcerer. With her elite ranking, Yuki has an abundance of cursed energy to use, just like Yuta and Gojo. Similarly, she's able to use reverse curse technique to heal her own wounds, but it's not clear if she can heal others like Shoko Yeri. As an added bonus, and not related to being a special grade, Yuki's able to use Simple Domain, which is especially helpful in defense against enemies' domains or attacks. Likewise, she might have been the one to teach the technique to Todo, who used it to counter Mahito's domain attacks. As for Yuki's innate technique, it's called Star Rage. Pretty fitting since she's a star vessel, and has a lot of anger. With it, Yuki can add virtual mass to both herself and her summoned Shikigami, providing more power and effect to any attack she uses. In other words, she isn't made heavier physically, because then it would slow her down. Speaking of which, her agile Shikigami is named Garuda, and is directly connected to Yuki and her technique. This means that anything she adds on herself is shared equally with Garuda. Also, her summon can be used as a weapon in battle that she manipulates manually, or kicks like a soccer ball. On the other hand, Garuda can also move independently, like binding her opponent or destroying objects she orders it to. Like the ice that Ararame dropped at the battlefield in Shibuya, the downside is the direct connection they have can also weaken Garuda if Yuki's injured or low on cursed energy from using it too much. Lastly, Yuki possesses a domain expansion, which we never see or even know the name of. It probably has something to do with rage and hitting people though. Getting back to the battle, their goal is to make Kenjaku reveal both his domain and secret techniques, while Tengen will provide support by dispelling Kenjaku's domain with unmatched empty barrier techniques. Choso completes one step, and once Yuki does enough damage to Kenjaku, he unleashes his domain, Womb Profusion. And that, after showing off a gravity technique he got from someone else. This was already unexpected, considering Yuki wanted to weaken him first so his domain would be less intense when it came. He even tries to taunt Yuki into revealing her own by accusing her of lacking confidence. As a counter, Yuki brings up a simple domain, seeing as Tengen needed more time for preparations. Even then, Kenjaku proves to be too powerful, and forces Tengen to take down both the domain and the empty barrier that was in place. Because of this mistake, Yuki receives serious injuries from the domain without an outer layer to remove. Even though she's down, bleeding everywhere, she's not out, and Garuda certainly hasn't disappeared. Garuda attacks Kenjaku, both protecting Yuki and giving her time to heal up with reverse cursed energy. But she actually just jumps right into the fight. Covered in wounds and blood, she refuses to heal herself, despite giving herself a major handicap for the conflict. When she needs a breather, guess who's back? Big Brother Choso. Piercing blood is shot out alongside Star Rage's mass, but Kenjaku is nothing if not creative. He avoids a lethal hit, but he's bleeding. They use that moment to double team attack, but Yuki's strikes aren't enough with her injuries. Choso urges her to heal, so she does, but it's enough time for Kenjaku to slip out of a tight spot. She keeps boxing him in, with Choso shooting blood out, but it's not enough. His gravity keeps Choso down, and Yuki's alone to rush in. With seconds to attack, she fights through gravity and curses, never stopping. But the fight goes from bad to worst, with Yuki being hit by Kenjaku's miniature Uzumaki at point-blank range, directly into her abdomen. As a fighter, she instantly understands she's been tricked, and she doesn't have time to regenerate now. Even on the edge of death, Yuki encourages Choso to live as a human, since he had doubts that he could due to his past actions. Unlike her, she wants him to survive. Yuki's forced to the ground with Kenjaku's gravity, her body splitting in half with the last of her strength. Yuki grabs Kenjaku's leg and unleashes all of the mass she can, creating a black hole to suck him in. Everything around them collapses and breaks, being pulled in, but Kenjaku still survives, thanks to Yuji's mother's technique no less. Yuki was certainly a beast, and she will be missed. But that's pretty much it for this one, guys. If you liked the video, please give it a like, and please subscribe if you're looking for more Jujutsu Kaisen content like this. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.